Cases Review Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 1984, workers at Cammell Laird's shipyard took official strike action over job losses, just as the Thatcher government were trying to privatise British shipbuilders. They were dismissed, jailed in a Category A prison for 30 days, and they lost their redundancy and pension rights. Now, the Minister's tried to give us a technical answer today, but will he now undertake to release all of the documents relating to the decision to prosecute and the severity of the sentence, so that this clear miscarriage of justice can finally be put right?
I thank the honourable lady for her question, and of course I am sympathetic to the case concerned and the individuals affected by it. But as I said, the Criminal Cases Review Commission has the power to review and investigate possible miscarriages of justice in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. And where there is a real possibility that the conviction or sentence will not be upheld, the Commission can refer the case to the appropriate court, which will treat the referral as a new appeal.
Jim McMahon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 10 Cammell Laird workers, one apprentice, has died since those events without the answers as to who and why those decisions were taken to imprison them. Surely it's now time to call calls from family members and the GMB trade union to do the right thing and have a proper inquiry and to publish the information that the government has access to. What is there to hide?
I thank the honourable gentleman. This is clearly a difficult case for the people concerned. But as I said, where a conviction is subsequently quashed, compensation can be sought by an application to the Miscarriages of Justice Application Service. I'm not in a position to comment on whether a future government should engage in an inquiry or not, but I can assure you that if I am returned to this role after the election, I will look at this case further.
Glass.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the last time that I will speak in this House, and therefore I was keen that this should be a really important question. This is something that I championed when I was the Shadow Europe Minister, and I was delighted when the European Union joined the GMB and the Cammell Laird workers in demanding the release of government evidence and papers. This is about papers that the government hold. So I'm hoping that the Minister will respect that this is my last time and will give me a proper answer and not the fob-off that we've had so far. Will the Minister commit to releasing the papers that the government hold and put an end to one of the most shameful episodes in British industrial relations?
I thank the honourable lady for her question. She has represented a beautiful part of the country which I have some family roots in, and I'm sure that the current Prime Minister would agree with me about that as a former candidate in that constituency. This case is clearly an emotive one, judging by the responses opposite. And as I have said, if I am returned to this position after the election, I will look at this situation once again. I will not make any commitments this side of an election on it, but I fully recognise the sensitivity of the case, the emotive nature of it, and the individual people involved.
Richard Bergen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. GMB Union research points towards state interference in the Cammell Laird industrial dispute, yet the picture remains incomplete, as we've heard, because of withheld documents. That era of Conservative government is becoming defined by suspicion of institutional interference and state wrongdoing. We know the names: Hillsborough, Orgrave, Cammell Laird. If that interference is extended to the prosecution of those trade unionists, don't they have the right to know?
I thank the Shadow Minister for his question. I do not share such a rather jaundiced view of the Conservative government of the 1980s. As I have said repeatedly, this case I will look at again once we're outside of Purdah, once we are returned, and I do hope for a Conservative government to be returned and expect it to be the case in a few weeks' time, and I promise to look at this case again in detail then.
Order. As this is the last week of questions,